Okay, so I have a Ask a Ninja question for you. If the humidity is kept 50 to 55%, should they still be concerned about the dormant mold? And can spray foam be applied directly over that mold if it's not active?
That is a fantastic question. What does dormant mold mean? Mold is everywhere. It's impossible for you to have a mold-free environment unless you had some kind of clean room where they make microchips. But dormant mold, in my opinion, is a little misleading. To say something is dormant, you may instantly think dormant means dead, but it doesn't. It means it's alive, it's just not active. I always use the groundhog scenario. A groundhog, we have groundhogs here in East Tennessee, and they go dormant when they hibernate. But what happens, let's say that I found a groundhog hole and I grabbed a stick and I dug it out and I found where they were nesting and it's, January and it's cold and I start poking that groundhog with that stick. What do you think that groundhog is going to do to me and that stick? He's no longer going to be dormant. The best scenario is to remove the mold, remove what caused the mold, and apply something that kills its root. Because mold, what you see with your eyeballs, is the fruiting body. So, in other words, if you look outside in your yard and, it rains a lot for 3 or 4 days, and then all of a sudden a mushroom pops up in the middle of your pristine grass, there was mold under the grass before you saw the mushroom. What we see on wood is the fruiting body of the mold. That doesn't mean that the mold wasn't there. It could have been in the wood growing until it had high enough humidity or grew fast enough for it to start fruit. Now, why does mold fruit? Or why does it become visible? It's so it can spread. If you take dormant mold and you take closed cell or open cell spray foam, they didn't really say which, and you spray over it, did that kill the mold?
Mhm.
No. No, it didn't kill the mold. It locked it in, but what else did it lock in with the mold? It locked in the moisture because there wouldn't be mold there if there wasn't some kind of moisture to start it in the first place. And yeah, they've been running the dehumidifier, it's under 55%, but they didn't tell me what the wood moisture level is. Okay. Is the wood moisture level low? Do they have some kind of hidden leak they didn't know about? Like the toilet flange is leaking and then they air seal all of that subfloor and joist with spray foam and now they got wet wood because they didn't know that they had a toilet leak. What happens now? That mold just grows and grows and grows, but now it's not visible anymore because they sealed it up inside of spray foam. I hate whenever we as contractors cover up the subfloor. I don't like covering up with spray foam and I don't like covering up with insulation. If you have a house 20 years old, there's a really good chance at some point that house is going to have a water leak, whether it's the toilet flange, whether it's the refrigerator ice maker, whether it's the washing machine. And if you've sealed up or covered up that subfloor and that water has nowhere to go except sit against that subfloor insulation, whether it's fiberglass, spray foam, or whatever, you're going to have a big problem because you can't even dry it from underneath anymore.
Mhm.
So, AJ, what's the first thing we do if there's subfloor insulation and we need to dry out a crawl space?
We take it out.
We take it out. How am I going to take out spray foam, AJ?
I mean, you can't really. I mean, you could, but you can't really. It's a horrible mess.
Well, and a lot of people don't know this, but spray foam is actually a form of plastic. It's an
Yeah.
expandable plastic. So I have scraped off spray foam, and if you look really good, there's still a waterproofing film on the wood. So really the only way to get it off is not just to knock off the big pieces, but to actually sand off that adhesive part that's on the wood. So even if you take the spray foam off visibly, you still might be trapping moisture
Hmm.
because of that. So I'm not a big fan of spray foaming subfloors. I am a big fan of air sealing penetrations. To go back to this question, I think you would be better off air sealing all the major penetrations. The other thing too is if you got a 1927 house, it might have like some kind of tongue and groove with gaps in it. So what happens when you spray foam? I've been in houses where I could see the room above. What happens if I spray foam underneath? Where's that spray foam going to go? It's going to rise up into the room above. I think minimizing the stack effect by air sealing the big gaps that you can seal in a subfloor and then insulating the walls of the crawl space to create that thermal break at the wall would be a better choice. I would rather do those two places of insulation versus a spray foam of the subfloor. So hopefully that helps them out and keeps them from making a big mistake because once that spray foam goes on, you can't get it off.
Oh yeah, a big thing I tell everyone is you never want to cover wood.
Not in a crawl space. I mean, it's just a naturally wet environment.